Jamaica is a land filled with enormous potential. Our creative culture, athletics, music, and language are mere words that can't contain the vastness of our rich heritage or value. There's so much more to discover from a Jamaica that collaborates and strives for national development. The global appreciation for our culture must not be taken for granted, as we must continue to strengthen our legacy. Welcome to another Wednesday edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Theodore Henry. Join me as I take you through the pages to discover some of that work to strengthen our development. Stay with us.
Jamaicans consume on average 9 to 12 grams of sodium or salt per day, twice the World Health Organization recommended amount of less than 5 grams or 1 teaspoon of salt, and more ideally, less than 2 grams of sodium per adult per day from all food sources. This excess salt in the diet causes high blood pressure, kidney and bone damage, gastric cancer, obesity, and worsening of asthma. Reduce the amount of salt you consume to no more than 3 to 5 grams, or half to 1 teaspoon per day for adults, and less than 2 grams for children under 11 years of age. Let's shake the salt habit and live healthy. A public service message from the Jamaica Information Service.
Good day, I'm Lisa Rowe and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, November 15, 2023. Minister of National Security Dr. Horace Chang says persons behind a series of bomb threats on institutions across the island are being pursued aggressively. Minister Chang says all resources have been mobilized to identify and apprehend the perpetrators with support from the international partner, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI. The Security Minister was giving an update earlier today at the weekly post-cabinet press briefing. He shared data that reveals that approximately 84 institutions received bomb threats over the period November 9 to 14. It included 76 schools, 1 hospital, 1 courthouse, a commercial center, port, and government office. Minister Chang says every call is being taken seriously.
We have, as said, had some one apprehended, but the work is not easy. The individuals involved are quite smart in terms of the use of the virtual space, and we have to backtrack to particular IP addresses. That is being done, and we do so with the help of our international partners, because this can go not only originate at the local level, but anywhere in the globe, literally.
According to Minister Chang, the kind of activity being dealt with has a wide source. Deputy Commissioner of Police, Fitz Bailey, informs that the pranksters are using the Instagram platform, phone calls, and emails to send their threats. He says the police are pursuing several leads.
These persons, who we believe are quite savvy in the cyber world, and in our interaction with our international partners, they have also indicated that these individuals are not just ordinary people. Some of the information that we have, we cannot disclose, but what I will say to the public, we are committed to ensure that those persons who are responsible will be brought to justice.
The Security Minister adds that while the emergency response team has been efficient in its distribution across the island, there is need for an expansion of the team given the level of activities.
We will have to, of course, get some additional resources as well, in particular the dogs that are very effective in identifying if such explosives is in place. We'll have to continue training and sensitizing our institutions, schools, hospitals, courts, and commercial and public institutions who may be recipient of such threats, to ensure that the response can be proportionate.
Information Minister Robert Morgan says legislative changes are also being pursued to address this level of crime.
We are currently in the process of reviewing the Cybercrimes Act, which will also deal with matters of that nature.
The Ministry of Education and Youth is also responding to the recent spate of bomb threats with the implementation of an intervention protocol called Response to Trauma Events. Portfolio Minister Favour Williams says this is to assist students and staff deal with psychologically traumatic occurrences. The strategy is in partnership with the Guidance and Counseling Unit, the Ministry of Health and Wellness, and other agencies. Minister Williams says the intervention will continue until the end of December.
Just to give you an example of what this is, for all our grades, we will have coping skills lessons, and that will be done by our health and family life education teachers or guidance counselors. We will continue to do disaster drills with the aid of the Jamaica Fire Brigade, Jamaica Constabulary Force, and ODPEM.
Coping skills workshops will also be held for staff at schools, in addition to other interventions. In other news, Jamaica and the Dominican Republic have signed a framework agreement to expand cooperation in various sectors. The agreement was signed by Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith, and her counterpart, His Excellency Roberto Alvarez. It took place during Minister Johnson-Smith's official two-day visit to the Dominican Republic recently. Both countries will share expertise and technology to boost agricultural production. Work to safeguard the environment through projects on biodiversity, water resource management, and sustainable solid waste practices are also on the agenda. In addition, Minister Johnson-Smith says the agreement will allow both countries to bolster political collaboration, catalyze trade and investment, and enrich educational and cultural interaction. She says the partnership marks a deliberate step towards fortifying and expanding cooperation on a range of important sectors. Approximately 100 households in the Peaceview and Cassava Walk communities of St. James are set to benefit from regularized electricity under the Rural Electrification Program REP. On a tour of the community last week, Portfolio Minister Darrell Vaz said the project was estimated to cost more than $20 million. The work will be done in partnership with the Jamaica Social Investment Fund, JSIF, and the Jamaica Public Service Company.
So what we want to do here is to make sure that we regularize, make sure that the wiring is done for those that are not, those that are wired, that needs to be recertified, that we do that, to make sure that we put in the proper infrastructure, tidy up the wires so that everybody can be on the grid.
Minister of National Security and Member of Parliament for St. James Northwestern, Dr. Horace Chang, has welcomed the initiative as a great improvement for the community.
They look forward to it with anxiety. I've been waiting for this, trust me. They're very happy come January we can turn it on.
Minister Chang revealed that street lights would later be installed in the communities. And finally, Minister of Labour and Social Security Pernell Charles Jr. is encouraging member countries of CARICOM to ensure that strong social security systems are in place to deal with natural disasters. The call comes against the backdrop of the 5.6 magnitude earthquake that shook sections of Jamaica on October 30. Minister Charles Jr. was addressing the 31st meeting of heads of CARICOM's social security organizations recently. He said the earthquake served as a reminder of the vulnerabilities and unforeseen challenges faced by countries.
The earthquake, like much the pandemic before it, has laid bare the essential need for the robust social security systems that should be designed to stand as bastions of stability when the ground shakes and the unexpected strikes.
The minister encouraged delegates to also strengthen social partnerships within the region to help build resilience.
Notwithstanding the gains in strengthening of our systems regionally over the past 3 to 4 decades, we do recognize, as has been said, that there remain significant gaps, and that as a region we have much farther to go toward the attainment of a robust and comprehensive system of social security programs and initiatives.
And that's it for JIS News today. I'm Lisa Rowe. Thanks for watching.
Lowering the sodium content in children's diets today can help prevent heart disease later in their life, especially for those who are overweight. Shake the salt habit. Shop smart and cook smart. Use less or no salt when cooking. Try using fresh herbs and seasonings to add more flavor. Limit the consumption of salty snacks. Take the time to carefully read the nutrition labels on food products to identify those high in salt and choose the healthier options. Remember, no more than 2 grams of salt per day from all food sources for children under 11 years of age.
To successfully take our place in the global digital race, learning must begin in our schools. The Ministry of Education, Science, Technology, Engineering, Arts and Math, STEAM curriculum, is pivotal to preparing students for the digital space. In this next feature, we see one organization that is already leading the charge.
Science, Technology, Engineering and Mathematics, STEM, a supportive trunk of our island's national standards curriculum, which is strong enough to propel the growth of branches, fueling a better Jamaica. And as if that wasn't enough, our government's creativity expanded to mold the direction of STEM to create STEAM, Science, Technology, Engineering, Arts and Mathematics. Right now, I'm about to meet head STEAM maker at the STEAM House, Godiva Golding, to learn about how her initiative is helping government prepare young minds for life beyond the classroom and beyond the curriculum.
STEAM House is a learning hub for science, technology, engineering, art, and math, more commonly known as STEAM. We teach integrated approaches to robotics and coding that allow students to actually solve real-world problems. So we do this through, again, coding and robotics education and taking them through the process of exploring, imagining, and then making. At the end of STEAM House programs, you will always end up with some sort of end product, whether that be a game, be a prototype, or some web app that you can share with your family and friends. And we center all of this around project-based learning, because project-based learning is what is going to help students to build their problem-solving skills, critical thinking skills, and also help them to channel their creativity.
So I know you might be wondering, why was STEAM House created and what is the target audience? Here's the answer.
So STEAM House was created with the vision of preparing students for this digital world that is increasingly about artificial intelligence, about technologies, about data, is about computers. And how I first got my start is being introduced as an electronics major at the University of the West Indies. And so having gone through that experience, learning for the first time about coding and all these fine things at 21, 18 years old, thereabout, I thought it would be really good if we could have students as early as 7 actually learn some of these skills now. Because if they learn it at 7, by the time they get to 18 and 21, they're better able to actually actively participate in this world that is increasingly about AI and self-driving cars and all the fun things that we're going to be able to do with the internet. You have heard about coding because you're right here with us today. Who would like to raise their hand and tell me what coding is or what they think coding is? So there are a number of ways that we engage students in our programming. One way is our Block to Basics flagship course, which is a 2-month introduction to coding for children. The second way is through our summer camps, as well as ongoing STEAM camps that students can opt into, as well as our STEAM Maker Club. And the final thing, for especially foundations and organizations who are looking to build the skill set in their community, we have our Tinker workshops. So this is actually one of those workshops that students will be able to come in, have a hands-on experience with electronics, with coding, and build something that solves a problem in their community.
As you heard earlier, STEAM Maker has many programs that cater to the unique needs of its participants. Right now, we're witnessing firsthand the STEAM Maker Hour, done in collaboration with the Jamaica Library Service.
So this initiative, which is done with the St. Catherine Parish Library Network, is one hour per week coding course that students can actually take. And this is free of charge. But we do have paid programs that students can opt into that go and teach them the basics of not just coding and robotics, but also helps them to go really deep in building their problem-solving skills, because we take them through an entire process of starting out with an idea and having that idea turn into reality. We have had students who come through our programs who have built games to cheer you up during COVID. They've been games that help students to learn math. They've built games that, fire rocket ships. They've built remade Mario games. They've built things like motion-activated hand sanitizers, sort of like the ones that we see now in the supermarkets when we go in.
We're really very excited about this initiative at the library. Coding fuels the digital age, and it also encourages critical thinking. And that is one of the main aims that we have here at the library, along with the other programs and services that we have that include online learning and also online research.
I like this program because it's very educational and very fun to do, and it helps a lot. I've learned about coding. I've done coding with animations and cartoons. It's very fun to do, and it shows you movements, and you can also project it in robots and other things like that.
As you can see, this intricate and purposeful entanglement of the sciences and arts is helping to create more multifunctioning and creative minds. Steam is no longer just vapor from heated water. It's science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics, a requisite tool in today's highly technological and multifunctioning world.
Every Jamaican child in this day and age deserves access to these skills, access to sort of platform, the tools, the resources, and the tutors who will help to facilitate their journey through coding, through robotics, through this vehicle of problem solving and critical thinking skills. So parents who are interested in our programs can always visit our website at steamhouse.io, or they can visit us on Instagram, and we are steamhouse.io. With this, we start as early as 7 and we go as far as grade 9, and even beyond that for students who are interested in like robotics coaching for respective robotics competition that have especially popped up in Jamaica over the past 2 years.
So, if you're looking for an activity that teaches your child the soft and technical skills they need to be creators in the 21st century, why not try coding? Trust me, the possibilities are endless.
Motorists, please look out for us when we're crossing the road.
Do you have a child who loves the arts? Well, in the future, they may want to expand this creative imagination to filmmaking. Learn how the government is preparing a brighter future for creatives in this sector through the establishment of the Jamaica Screen Fund.
The lights are illuminating a new era in Jamaica's film industry. It's a financial pool that gives local filmmakers latitude to harness their full creative potential. Visual clarity for capturing authentic Jamaican culture experiences through the creative lenses.
The Ministry of Finance and the Public Service, in its partnership, will provide, Madam Speaker, an initial amount of $1 billion over 2 years, with $500 million in 23-24 in financing for the establishment of the Jamaica Screen Fund.
It's a stellar partnership with the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce to provide the right financial backing to drive Jamaica's film industry. The work of the Screen Fund will be executed through the Jamaica Film Commission, an arm of the government's investment agency, the Jamaica Promotions Corporation, JAMPRO. Former Film Commissioner Renee Robinson has served as a guiding light to the establishment of the long-awaited Jamaica Screen Fund. Renee tells us more about the strategic role the fund will play in expanding Jamaica's film industry.
What is the Jamaica Screen Fund? Before I tell you exactly what the fund is, what I do want to tell you is that the fund is going to be a game changer for Jamaica. So the Jamaica Screen Fund, the inaugural Jamaica Screen Fund, is going to provide an opportunity for the government of Jamaica to support local content through the development and productions phases.
How much work went into the establishment of?
So much work. Oh my gosh, there's just been so much happening, and the hard work starts now of being able to structure the governance, the management process, and to make sure that it is transparent, sustainable, that it demonstrates impact, and that we're able to utilize it to really identify high potential projects that are going to be able to have economic impact and commercial viability in the future.
And how exactly will the fund work?
We're still working out the details of how the fund will function. The ultimate goal is support for local, but of course there's going to need to be some avenue for support and for collaborations internationally, because our ultimate goal is to make sure that our local content gets seen internationally and has access to new audiences.
So how did the ministry work to get the fund established?
We saw that there was a need to develop this part of our economy, to employ more people, make sure people who have the natural abilities get a chance. It was a discussion between Minister of Finance, Dr. Nigel Clark, and myself. We decided to set up a fund to make sure people can have some assurance that there is funding for their ideas.
How will the Screen Fund be structured?
Structured with a board, most likely from private and public sector. They're supposed to manage, rather govern the project so that there's transparency, so there's accountability, and so that there's performance. You're going to see how much you spend, who you spend it on, what's the return, how many people you employed, how many artists were involved, how much information was passed on from the outside filming company to our local people, over what period of time do we get to begin and start and fund and deliver our own movies.
Here at the Caribbean School of Media and Communication at the University of the West Indies, Mona campus, adjunct lecturer Kevin Jackson shares his expectations of the Screen Fund for students in film production.
It means many things. This Film Fund is, a long time coming. It's something that we definitely need. I do believe that this is an opportunity for students to be able to work on bigger projects. With the fund stimulating more productions, there'll be more places for students to work and gain the experience they need to, get to that level.
Jackson is also hoping that the Screen Fund will make provisions for animated films.
Jamaica is definitely in a position where we need more animated content. We have tons of children's stories that can be converted into animation. We have tons of ideas that have been pitched at Kingston, that have been pitched in the animation networks, that have been pitched all over the Caribbean, even in Anime Caribbean, that can become something big, and this Film Fund can help to get those animations made.
The Screen Fund is set to revolutionize Jamaica's film industry and create an ecosystem to ensure its sustainability. President of the Jamaica Film and Television Association, JAFTA, Saeed Thomas, says it is providing hope for Jamaica's film industry.
So I think the overall feeling is one of hope that with this it gives better access and it gives more of an opportunity to see if we can step into feature films and episodics and just overall more content for Jamaica.
JAFTA is known for its film development initiatives that are centered around developing the best in local content. It's why Saeed believes that with the right funding, Jamaica will release more content for the international market.
With the Film Fund, there's more content. With more content means you are able to market better, and you are able to push the content on an international platform. And especially one of the major things we've had here is content with lower production value. So I would hope that the Film Fund will be able to improve our production value, improve our storytelling, which would then mean that we will be more competitive on the international market.
I think the Screen Fund is going to really help to reposition Jamaica. So when I started in the role, and as you know, I go to the various film festivals, and you know, the questions and the discussions that were being held at that time was more around, oh, I want to come and shoot in Jamaica. Do you guys offer incentives? You know, what is the process? How do I apply for a permit? You know, those kinds of things. And then more recently, we're starting to see that in market internationally, persons are asking, how can I see Jamaican film? What are Jamaicans creating and where can I see it? So there's a global demand, and that has been a very recent shift. I would say those conversations started happening, you know, from 2019, 2020.
Renee also adds that unaudited data for January 2022 to February 2023 shows film production expenditure, which is money that goes directly into the Jamaican economy, at $22 million. Jamaica also celebrates an historic film achievement as local film Raw Materials has qualified for an Academy Award Oscar nomination for 2024. What are the plans to increase the pool of funds in the future?
If after we put in this fund, we see that the new film commissioner and the new project manager work together to make sure they get maximum use out of this money, and we will be monitoring it. Then, of course, as we see that money, that investment really did create new sources of energy, innovation, and films, because that's what we're talking about, then there is that gives the impetus for the government to fund more.
The Jamaica Screen Fund is positioning Jamaica's film industry for growth and attracting more partnerships and opportunities for the sector. It's providing a greater reach for Jamaican films on the international market.
All motorists, pedestrians, private and public operators, motorcyclists, it is important for us to drive defensively. Driving defensively saves lives, and we know that lives are most important to each and every one of us. It is important also to be trained and certified as a defensive driver, for it increases the likelihood that you'll prevent collisions on our roadways.
We'd love to hear from you, so reach out via email at jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm. You can also find more content like this on our website at jis.gov.jm. Join us tomorrow for another informative edition of Jamaica Magazine, and on behalf of the entire production team, I'm Theodore Henry. Walk good.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.